What's up guys, Chad here with Tech in the Wild. It's Thanksgiving time. Today we're firing up the smoker and I've got two cooks for you. A smoked then deep fried turkey and smoked pork baby back ribs. It's gonna be delicious. Let's get into it. We've got two cooks, and it doesn't make sense to do both of them at the same time. So we're gonna start off with the smoked then deep fried turkey, and then we'll rewind back, start over, and do the smoked pork baby back ribs. So we're gonna start with the turkey. If you're anything like me, I put the turkey in the fridge well ahead of time, but it's always still frozen. So we'll kick it off with a quick tip on how to quickly thaw a frozen turkey. We've got a 9.5 pound turkey breast. I had it in the fridge for a couple days. It's starting to thaw a little bit, but it's still a little frozen in the middle. So I'll show you a trick real quick on how to help that thaw out faster. You're just going to need a trash bag. If you've got a bigger turkey, like a full turkey, a 15 to 20 pounder, you might need 2 bags because we want to double wrap it. We're going to soak it in cold water and that'll help thaw it out faster. I like to get it in one corner. And try to get as much of the air out as possible. Then I just twist it a few times. Bring the bag back down. This is a relatively small turkey breast and it barely fit into one bag, so chances are you might need 2. Just trying to get all the air out. Twist it again. I'll tie this so it doesn't leak any water inside of it. We're going to take a big pot and fill it with cold water. You want the water temperature to be below 40 degrees. Anything higher than that and bacteria will start growing. So it's good to change the water about every 30 minutes or when the temperature gets over 40 degrees. Depending on the size of your turkey, it should only take 2 to 4 hours to thaw out. Next, we'll get another pot. It doesn't have to be huge. This is just going to be enough to hold the brine solution. And for me, I use an oven bag or anything just to line this so it doesn't dirty the pot. If the pot that you're soaking the turkey in to thaw it is the right size, that's okay. We can dump that out and just take the bag out and put it in there. But while that's thawing, we're going to make the brine because we want that brine to cool before we put the turkey in it. Again, over 40 degrees just so we're not raising the temperature of that turkey and bringing bacteria. Alright, let's make the brine. I like to do about half a cup of kosher salt per gallon of orange juice or total liquid. We've got about 59 ounces or 1.8 quarts, which is about 3/4 of a gallon of orange juice, and we'll just add a little bit of water basically to top it off once we get the turkey in there, which will put us around a gallon. And remember, this is for a 9.5 pound turkey, so just adjust all that depending on the size of your turkey and what it's going to take. The other reason we use this bag is we can bring that liquid up by getting all the air out, making it tight, so we don't need 2 gallons of orange juice, waste a bunch of stuff. But we can get it tight around that turkey, save some ingredients for the brining solution. So we'll start with putting the orange juice in. Then I've got about a little over a half cup of salt. I don't know, I'm always worried about over salting, but whatever your preference is, go with it. I think the standard is 1 cup of kosher salt to 1 gallon of fluid. Typically in a brine you want equal parts sugar. We've already got a lot of sugar in this orange juice, but just to add a little bit more sweetness, that's why I go with honey. It's still sweet, but a little more subtle. So I'll do about 3 tablespoons of this. And then for our spices, we've got about a tablespoon of crushed red pepper. That's optional. I just like it a little more spicy. A tablespoon of garlic powder, tablespoon of cayenne pepper, tablespoon of black pepper, about a tablespoon of rosemary, and then a tablespoon of smoked paprika. And Now we'll just stir this in, get it all combined. You want to make sure you're getting that salt on the bottom. We want that salt to dissolve within the liquid. All right, now we'll just put this in the fridge and we wait for the turkey to thaw and this to cool down, and then we'll get it wrapped up. It's been a couple hours. This feels like it's pretty thawed now, so let's drain the water, get the turkey out, and get it into the brine. There's still a little bit of ice in here, but we'll just clean that out. When this mixes with the salt and the brine, that should get rid of any of the remaining ice. The important thing is the meat feels pretty thawed out, so it's looking good. We're going to tie this up and bring all that brine up to the top, so we just need a little bit more water. As I lift that up and I get most of the water out, and that turkey is completely surrounded. I'm just twisting this. You can tie it if you want, but I just tuck it into the side here. And now we'll put it in the fridge to brine. Depending on the size of your turkey, with this being 9.5 pound, 12 hours should be good enough. I'm looking at about 18 to 19 hours before I start cooking this. You don't want to leave it too long. Definitely wouldn't go over 24 hours. That salt will start making the meat mushy, and you don't want that. So it's better to go less than too much, but 24 hours should be okay. Good morning. It's early, so we're going to get the turkey out. I've got the smoker turned on and getting up to temperature, so we'll get this turkey prep to put in there. Just going to pat this down so we can get rid of the majority of the juices on the outside. That way our seasoning will stick a little better. Now, if you are just going to deep fry this, you definitely want to make sure you get as much of that liquid off as possible, because hot oil and water, as we all know, don't mix. I'm just going to trim some of these areas off. Yep, that's looking good. So the only seasoning I'm going to use on this is the Slap Ya Mama sauce. It's a Cajun seasoning, not too spicy. For us, the flavor just works good. This is basically salt, black pepper, and red pepper, or cayenne pepper. So we don't need to do the SPG on this. Plus we already brined it, so we've got enough salt in there. Next, we're going to use some of this Tony Chachere's Creole style butter for injecting it into the turkey. And we're just going to inject this kind of all over throughout the breast. Alright, now we'll get the other side. It's always good to pull the syringe out as you're pushing the butter in, just so it spreads through that cavity evenly. And then I wait a little bit just to let that butter soak into the meat before I pull the syringe. Otherwise it just starts spewing out the hole you just made. It's also a good idea to move the syringe around inside the meat, like pull it out and then inject at a different angle, so you're not making as many holes, which is just going to let all the moisture come out. And especially if you're deep frying, you don't want all that coming out. All right, I think that's enough. This isn't that big of a turkey, so we don't need to put too much in there, but this is pretty much ready to go and put on the grill. Lastly, I got this Meter Pro Duo. So these are meat probes, all steel, so they can go up to 1,000 degrees. So when we deep fry the turkey, we don't have to worry about it hurting that. We're only going to be deep frying at 350 degrees. For me, these track the temperature the most accurate that I've seen. So we'll slip one of these in there, and then we can track this turkey and know exactly when to take it out and get it into the fryer to finish it up. You want it in the deepest part of the meat. So we'll go right there. And with the Duo, I'm going to use this for the ribs, but that's why I like having the two. If I wanted to put another one on the other side, then I can track and make sure both sides are cooking evenly. Especially on a smoker, you don't always get perfect indirect heat, so it lets you know when you need to rotate things. Just barely fits. Just carry that with you when we go down. You can use that to pick the lid up because it's going to be hot. And then I'll put the turkey in. All right, we're at about 145 degrees, so we're going to take it out and put it in the oil.
Ooh, it's delicious in the smell. Okay. What do you need?
Brine.
I don't have a way for barbecue.
We're a little under temperature, so we're going to let it rest until it gets to the 167. It's still climbing, so it should get there.
Well, she said it used to.
Chad, we're waiting on the meat.
Done.
Just give me wash dishes all day today.
All right, it's late, but we're going to prepare the ribs. We'll get some paper towels and just try to soak up any of the moisture on this meat. The ribs I buy already have the membrane taken off, so it makes it easy. Just trim off some of these corners to make them a little more round. If there's any extra fatty parts, trim some of it off. I mean, you obviously want some of the fat for the flavor, but if there's something that's just sticking way out, better to just trim that off. Looks good to me. Now, we'll get some mustard, put that on as a binder. Then we're going to put SPG or salt, pepper, garlic on, and then the notorious PIG rub. Now, usually I'd be wearing gloves, but I can't find any, so I'm just going to be washing my hands a lot. I'll just put a little bit of mustard on. Just make sure to spread that everywhere. So I've got an SPG mix that's just equal parts salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Always good to have some of this pre-made. We'll just put a generous amount on here. And then we've got PS seasonings, the notorious PIG pork seasoning. These are pork ribs, so this goes pretty well with it. Same thing here. Apply a generous amount of the seasoning. Then once you got that in there, just kind of pat it down. Don't worry about any of the loose seasonings. If it falls onto the cutting board, we'll dip the sides of the ribs on there and collect some of it there as well. Flip it over and do the other side. More SPG. And more notorious PIG seasoning. This smells great already. If you haven't seen this stuff, I've seen it at Shields, Sportsman's Warehouse. We have it at our local market here, and it smells great by itself. No gloves, I gotta wash my hands for about the 6th time. That's it. We're going to throw this in the fridge, and then I'll see you guys in the morning and we'll start cooking. We're going to smoke the ribs bone side down for 2 hours and spritz every hour starting at the 1 hour mark. Alright, it's been about an hour, so we're just going to spritz real quick. Alright, we're a little over the 2 hour mark, so spritz number 2. And then we're going to flip the ribs onto the meat side. Tongs didn't really help. Alright, at the 2.5 hour mark, we're going to wrap the ribs in aluminum foil. And we want to add a little bit more flavor, so we're going to put some butter. I love these butter balls. It makes it so easy. Let's do about 6 of those. Going to line these up in a straight line. Now, you could cut all of them, but I like to just squash them. Good lotion. Then we're just going to drizzle honey. This will add a little bit of sweetness. It's about 3 to 4 tablespoons. And then spread some more of that notorious PIG rub all through that. Whoa! For the second half of the cook, we want to keep the moisture inside the ribs. And this will melt out, start absorbing up into the meat, and so it's a nice little cooked marinade. So now we've got about 20 minutes left. We'll wait until that 2.5 hour mark, get the ribs on here, wrap them up, and then put them back in to finish out the cook. We're at the 2.5 hour mark, so we're going to take the ribs out and get them wrapped in this foil. We want to put the ribs in the foil meat side down so that meat can soak up that butter and honey mixture. And we'll spritz one more time On the top here, you can see it's kind of drying out. We want plenty of steam to cook this meat up. Try as carefully as you can to poke a hole through the foil, but you don't really want it on the bottom. You don't want any of that juice to leak out. Now we just wait till everything's done. I was so wrapped up in removing the turkey from the deep fryer that I forgot to record cutting the ribs. So here's another cook I did shortly after, and as an added bonus, a couple sides I like to use when I'm just making ribs. One of my favorite barbecue sauces is this Colorado Smokin' Butts Barbecue Sauce Company, the Spicy Original. Obviously, if you can't find it in your local area, I'll put the link down below where you can order these. It's so good. Gluten-free, MSG-free, such a great taste. It really elevates this up. You can eat these ribs the way they are, but this really takes it up a notch. A couple other side options, just chop up some potatoes, put some salt, pepper, garlic, and Dano's seasoning on it. And then same with the asparagus. Heat both of those up for about 20 to 30 minutes till they're done. And that's a good alternate side.
Very good.
All right, and now back to the dinner gathering.
So you had heavy cream,
No
cheese,
gluten. No gluten.
garlic. There you go.
Okay, just don't hold your plate like that. Oh my God.
Good job.
Gracias.
Thank you, Dad.
This entire meal was delicious, and everybody loved it. Happy Thanksgiving to you all, and I'm so thankful for all of you that take the time to watch my videos. I'd love to know your favorite dish. Put it in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Those ribs are tender.
Good job, Chad. It's both smoky and fried. I know, it's pretty good.
If you like this video, hit that like button and click subscribe. Click the bell icon so you can be notified every Sunday when we release new videos. And as always, thanks for watching.